deep-seated bar shoe, and not so much about the bar shoe or anything else. It's more about just the deep seating process, and it's a shoe that is pretty tricky. What we're going to do the first heat is we're going to hem it, and as we hem this, we're going to push material down and to the center of the shoe, and that's going to make the center of the shoe the highest point. And so the first move we're going to do is we're going to deep seat it, but we're going to hem it up on edge. Alright, the hammer's going to come in just like a hemming blow, and I'm dragging that top edge down, making sure that I don't hit the ground surface. This is the highest spot that I just pushed down, not this edge, but this edge right here. So now what I'll do is I'll just come in, and my hammer's below the face of the anvil, and I'm pushing that edge over, not down, over. Alright, you can see what I'm trying to create is this keeps on getting higher and higher. We definitely want the center of the shoe to be the highest part of the shoe, because that way the fuller has something to push against. If we keep making it a wedge shape, then the fuller is just going to collapse all that hard work of our deep seating. Alright, we're just going to repeat the same process as we're just coming in, and I'm trying not to hit the bottom edge on the anvil. I'm hitting with the flat side of my hammer. And the reason I want to hit with the flat side of my hammer is because I don't have to control distortion in a million directions. If I hit with the round this early in the process, it really makes it hard to control and have a good deep-seated look. Get it flat. All right, you can see what I've got is this is the highest point of the shoe. When I make the toe bend, I'm gonna make the toe bend and I'm gonna flatten the outside edge, but I'm gonna try not to touch my hammer on this piece right here, because I want this to be the highest part of the shoe, and do that throughout the whole shoemaking process. This is just like a heel cock. If you hit straight down, you'll wreck a heel cock. So you have to have the heel cock leaning back to make it, and then it comes together at the end. This is the same way. You don't have it look like a deep-seated shoe until you put the fullering in there. All right, we're just gonna make the toe bend. Trying not to really dimple it up that much. Tighten the toe. Alright, so whenever I hit, I'm going to hit on this outside edge, and I'm just going to come all the way around, just hitting on that outside edge. Now I've got that the highest. Now I got to come in here with the round side, and when I'm hitting with the round side of my hammer, I'm not trying to hit both lines. I'm trying to hit the line closest to the anvil. The fuller will make the top line. So you don't want to make the top line with your hammer, you want to make the bottom line. So I come in here, and I'm just working on the bottom line. And then we'll hockey stick it. We're going to take a little over 2 inches, And I'm going to crimp it. I'm not touching the horn, but I'm getting as close as I can. And now hitting that back corner and hitting towards my shoelaces, pulling up. This inside edge in here is going to always pucker, so I'm going to flatten that first. You can see it start to bend, so right now I'm just going to straighten this back side up. You can see that belly. As soon as it gets that belly, get a little bit of daylight under there and get it out of there. All right, we're just gonna get it stood up a little bit. If you stand it up too quick, just like a heel cock, it'll just make the end of it get real thin. So I just want to make sure I get it a nice thick hockey stick. I'm going to come here. I'm going to get just a tab hanging over the end, and I'm going to scarf it. And then we'll bend it. Again, from right about here, I'm hitting the outside edge and I'm just flattening on the outside edge. And then get your bottom. Don't worry about the top. And we'll do the other side. And I'm going to crimp it. I'm just going to come in here and crimp it. Just be right off the anvil, but don't hit the anvil. Get right in there on that inside edge. Then as soon as it gets a belly, you just come in here. Get it leaning back out. You got that slight arc to it. Just going to come in here and straighten it up a little bit. Grab just a little bit of the edge for my scarf. And then we'll bend it. Just hold it here. And then when I'm flattening this, I'm going to hit this outside edge. And then just come in here and just seat out this one side a little bit. Now I'll get it welded. Alright, I'm just gonna get my scarf put together pretty good. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm hitting this edge and I'm pushing the top of the scarf to make my point. See? You can see how it's pushing that one side together. Then I'm hitting here, but I'm watching what the side of the horn is doing. When I put it together, this isn't a point anymore. So I just kind of clean up that point. Hit here, and it's doing the horn's doing the work. I pretty much got all my edges pulled together and I'm ready to weld. You don't really get to see anything whenever we're welding because it's too hot, but I'm just gonna pull these edges down and get all this pulled together. Then I'll pull these edges down. What I do at the very end is I make sure that the tip of the point is slightly up on the horn, and I clean this edge back here. So like right here, you can see the gap. I got a little bit of a gap right here, and I'm gonna clean up this edge and this edge. I'm gonna clean up both edges, flip it around, clean up edges. What that does is if this is 3/8 of an inch, if I put 2 angles on it, I have more than 3/8 of an inch now. I have way more than 3/8 of an inch. So I've added material by diamonding it up, and then whenever I square it up, I have plenty of material. Just pulling those scarves together. Then again, I come up here and I take those edges off both ways. This straightens up the back of the bar faster than anything, is whenever you hit it at an angle. And we got one solid color, so I pretty much got it welded. Just put it together now. Now what I'll do is I'm going to hit with the edge of my hammer like I'm drawing a clip and try and push stuff to the corner. Edge of my hammer and I'm pushing to the edge of the corner. Then come up here like I'm water skiing and push on that corner again. That tightens up, makes a nice frog plate. Pulling on my tongs and hitting this corner. One more welding will be done. I just come here, always working. That frog plate's gonna always be over at the side, so I can push it down, automatically makes it grow in length. And then when I got a little bit of length, I can always just tighten up my bar. And then you can see, come out here and push the center down. Whenever I'm flattening the bar, I'm always working the outside edge so that I can make it nice and flat. You can always make the inside back here. You can always get this, but this is all going to pucker because of our deep seating. So we're always just working on the outside edge. All right. I'll kind of clean up the shape and we'll be ready to commit to our fullering. All right, when you clean up your shapes, I'm going to come back on the horn and have a little bit of daylight in the horn and just kind of mold it to the horn, get a nice elliptical shape. What you do to one side, you want to do to the other. So kind of just clean up your shape, nice elliptical shape. And then I'm just going to come in here and open this up. Come in, and what I'm doing is I'm pulling and just kind of getting all that work I put into the bar makes it really have a wide quarter. And that's all right if you need a shoe with a wide quarter. But if you got a little bit more of an elongated shoe, now you can see I'm going to put this corner here. The shoe is racked to where my hammer is. So all I'm going to do is hit that a couple times in a few different spots so I don't get a flat spot, and that pushes the shape to the other side. So when I lock it in on the corner on the anvil and hit up here, it bulges it here. Hold it here, hit it here, it bulges there. So that's how I can swing my toe around. We'll line up the bar on the back edge and make it square so everything's symmetrical. Then we'll put the T up there and we'll get our fuller lined out in that. All right. So now this is the highest spot of the whole thing, is right in here. This edge is the highest spot. So the fuller is going to make this little scoop look, because the fuller is going to do it. You're not going to have that there, but you have the luxury of going higher in the toe because you're not fullering it there. So this is going to be all cleaned up by the fuller. Is going to work like a flatter. All right, we'll just knock up this edge just a little bit. I like to do that so it doesn't fall off completely. Get it pretty much in there. I'll do my toenail, my heel nail, and then split the difference. Now when you look at it from the other side, you can see I've got a nice clean line. I'm just going to take the hammer. What I have is I have a hammer that Chris Madrid and Riley Kirkpatrick made, and it has a little tighter circumference on it. So that allows me to get in there just a little bit easier and not touch that upper line. And I'll do the other side. Come up here and I'm just going to hem it just a little bit. Gives me a nice shape. Toenail. Heel nail. Split the difference. Just come in here and try and get the bottom edge. All right, instead of punching it, what I'm gonna do is, you can see like I've got some incidental blowout, just where I fullered and stuff. So I'm gonna tighten up and make a nice clean parallel. And then I will, I'll probably deep seat a little bit so my toe looks a little bit bigger than the rest of it. And then I'll fuller one side, fuller the other, and finish punching it. All right, we just come in here and I just go right to my center of my toe, and then I do the same here. Go right to the center, to the end of the heel. And then all that I do is I'll come in here. I'm really trying to get the bottom again. Open my fuller in a little bit. This is a City F5, so there's not much you need to be having go in there. Do the other side. Start at my heel now and just kind of clean up this section. Just making it oh so nice. When it's hot, it really goes in there nice and it makes it really sweet. And open up the fuller in a little bit. Alrighty. Here we have one. You can see I got a pretty clean line all the way around.